ourselves, like we have this in Israel, we have lots of kids in Israel. So we have lots of pregnancies and going back to before the pregnancy. And there is this notion of going back to the genes you were
Okay.
before you had, like, you got
Oh,
pregnant.
yes, before you had your pregnancy genes.
Yeah, the genes. And just thinking about it, like an idea, that we have to be a teenager or a 20 years old when you're 35. Why would you, like, it's not natural. You're not
Yeah.
20, you're 35. This is how old you are. And
Yes.
we're just going back, like trying to go back to this genes that, okay, I was 20. That's what
Yeah.
I was. And it's related to the next thing that I want to ask you is about self-acceptance, and how do you see it?
Oh, self acceptance, I think, is a really deep inner journey because, again, you have to define what self acceptance looks like to you. Like, what is it that you are exactly struggling with? For me personally, I had a really hard time with self love and self kindness. And I am the least assertive person you will ever meet. So I had a lot of things that I need to work on in terms of being more respectfully assertive, setting better boundaries. Those are the things that define self acceptance to me. But also, I think whatever makes you feel good in the morning when you get out of bed and say, "Yeah, I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with the jeans I'm wearing, and I'm happy with the routine I have today, and I'm happy with the food I'm eating, and I'm happy with the career I'm going to." All of that to me culminates into self acceptance, but it has these different facets that all have to come together. And that's something you have to sort out for yourself because we all struggle with different things.
Yeah. When we just had this discussion, I, like, in my head, most people would say that most of my podcast is about, technology, career, business, right? And what we're talking about is so personal. And
Yeah.
as I see it, it's like intertwined. You cannot really, like, this is me in my career, in my business, and this is me in my personal life. Here I express feelings and I think about self acceptance, but I don't think it's like the same thing. How do you achieve the point that you're content with yourself as a businesswoman, as a career person? How do you relate to your business as it's part of me, right? Most people, when
Exactly.
they go to work or in their profession or their role or what is written on their card, right? This is
Yeah.
them. So it's related directly to how do I accept myself? How do I see myself? Would I see myself the same if I didn't have this title, right?
Exactly. And that's exactly why um, I felt this real need to bring about FIGGI because in my years in my consultancy and working with teams and everything, I really saw this challenge that especially women were extremely afraid to voice their honesties in a professional environment because it's seen as fluff and the things we don't talk about and the things you just deal with. But the problem is, whatever is happening in your personal life will in some way translate into your professional life. And whatever is happening in your professional life, for example, if you're really unhappy at work, is going to translate to your home life. And the people that you share your space with there are the ones that are going to suffer because of it, because you're bringing that home with you. So, and that's what Figgy is about, saying that it isn't fluff. It isn't something that we shouldn't talk about or we shouldn't say for fear of not getting the promotion or being seen as somebody that talks about too many personal stuff at work. No, it's just part of life. And I think especially after COVID, people have begun to realize that more. It's intertwined. Your entire life, basically 80% of your life you spend at work. So it's only natural to think that your personal and your professional life are going to intertwine.
How do you see the change during or after the COVID crisis? How do you see people changing and doing more decisions to make change in their career, We know about people leaving their jobs and the great resignation and all of that. How
Yeah.
do you see that?
I think that during COVID for me, I saw a big change in mindfulness and people being a lot more willing to be in a space of thinking about what is really important to them, how they want to live their lives. Where I am at and the people that I deal with now, where we are post COVID and everything is going a little bit more back to normal, I actually see, for me, an increase in stress, even more than it was pre COVID, because it's like people just not even hit the ground running. They just like flew into that lane again of, okay, everything is working again. Everything is working again. We have to make money again. We have to get in, we have to get all our contacts going again. We have to get meetings going again, and all of this mindfulness and everything that they celebrated during COVID kind of flew out the window for many times for good reason. I mean, you have families to support, you have many things going on, right? So for me, post COVID and the changes that I've seen post COVID isn't really that significant. During COVID, yes, but now where everything has gone back to normal, I feel like the rat race is even faster, and there's even more competition, and there's even more stress and strain to getting that goal and getting the sales and making it work. Yeah.
I see. And do you think like what we're talking about is going from a specific system or an organization, going outside to building your own brand or your own business? What would you tell people who are inside a company and they're having these like thoughts about change? Like it could be within the organization, it could be outside. It's like opening
Yeah.
something else, going to a new career path or to a new role. What do
Look,
you think?
changing a career is not for everybody. Just like entrepreneurship is not for everybody, just like being a doctor isn't for everybody. You have to ask yourself really the difficult, tough questions. Do you really want to change a career and start your own thing, or are you just unhappy with where you are at? And if you are unhappy there, is there something you can do to change that? Can you speak up? Can you make your position or your situation better for yourself? And a lot of times when you ask these things, people will tell you, "Oh no, I don't really hate where I work. Like I love the company values and I love the morals and I love like my working hours. It's just that these things bother me." So maybe I would say to first look at that. What exactly is it that you're unhappy with, and why do you want to make the change? And when you're clear on that, then you can say, okay, I know and I understand I definitely do not want to be here because of A, B, and C. Is there something that I can do to move away from this? Yes, I can start my own thing. No, my own thing is not something that I want to commit to, but I can look for other opportunities. Um, that would be my advice, because it also doesn't help to make big changes in your life that are going to end up causing you more heartache and more stress and more disappointment. If you're going to commit to something like this, make sure you do it right and you invest the time and the energy that you should in making the right choice.
Yeah. I totally agree that being a business owner is not for everyone else. And most people are not, they're employees. Most people are not a business owner
Yeah.
or somebody who's like self employed or whatever. But I think that in many cases, people are so afraid of the change that they even don't check the possibilities
Mm.
because they're afraid that this open door might put them in a position that is so uneasy in an uneasy situation that they just try to avoid it. And
Yeah.
you see people that are stuck in an organization that you cannot change. There are so many circumstances that you cannot change because this is your position. This is what the other people are